should be related to information captured during the silent monitoring period and will eventually be used as foundation for your endless verbal harassment. What they do is a game of deception and manipulation, nothing more. Do not accept anything they say as truth, and do not acknowledge anything the system interrogates you about as truth. The system will take random bits of anything it captures through your senses and fabricate stories which they will use to harass and interrogate you, with no intention other than to distract and torture you into submission to the system's influence. If you learn to defeat the remote neural memory and thought process attacks, then you can render remote neural monitoring useless or manipulate it to your advantage. Your advantage would be to be able to document and verify it is happening in a court of law. People who take a stand and try to oppose this evil are labeled by our government as dissidents and are punished or summarily killed. Many are victimized by the government by being forcibly and falsely misdiagnosed with a mental illness so that they are not taken seriously, pushed to the margins of society, or altogether removed from society, with their credibility destroyed so no one will believe them. That is why the torture is designed to be so brutal, precisely so that no one will believe it is happening. Their whole lives are completely destroyed because they somehow became a threat to our Orwellian society. As bad as it is, it will only get worse. Mind control will soon permeate every facet of our society. They achieve this by decoding electromagnetic emissions of the brain into actual thought patterns. Once those patterns are identified, they are used and varied in the repeated harassment and torture of the targeted individual. The mental images of the brain can actually be seen, and through this window into the soul, images, sounds, and other sequences, aromas, can be encoded into the human brain. They do this with me a lot, engaging in situational and conversational scenarios designed to capture the attention of the targeted individual, seeking verification like yesterday afternoon and last night. These electromagnetic impulses are sent into the brain via impulse injections to trigger evoked potentials for the purposes of verification. This generates sounds, images, aromas, etc. via the neuronal circuits. Essentially, they have turned the brain into a visual, verbal, and auditive communication system. For example, synthetic telepathy is a denomination of DARPA that uses an electronic brain-to-brain interface or brain-to-computer interface. Just by touching the arm of another person or shaking their hand, a CIA operative can communicate via synthetic telepathy to another operative without ever saying a word, as those neural circuits in the hand or arm travel the same pathways to the brain. This takes special software and usually involves direct or remote contact with the human anatomy. It is very similar to cell phone technology and basically amounts to receiving a cell phone call in your head. A computer multiplexer routes the signal through microwave towers, then onto a receiver. The receiver is located with pinpoint accuracy and tracked to a few feet of its actual location. However, the receiver is not a cell phone, it is a human mind. Right now, they are able to clone the human mind by downloading one's entire persona and psyche into a computer database. This technology is also being used by British intelligence agencies and is known inside MI6 circles as Project Soulcatcher. This is achieved through transcranial stimulation via directed energy weapon radiation and bioelectric R&D. Basically, the NSA maps your brain and then ties you to a supercomputer which downloads your information back into the database and monitors all electromagnetic activity of your brain 24/7 for life until the day of your death. This transcranial brain stimulation is also used by the military with brain-to-computer interfaces such as those used by pilots with the new F-35 stealth aircraft. NSA agents using this technology to covertly debilitate people using directed energy weapons such as microwaves to slowly degrade their minds or other internal organs until they die or become incapacitated. They have done this with me continually for years. The NSA-CIA paradigm against me had me forcibly and falsely misdiagnosed with a mental illness, which the doctors changed quickly to delusional disorder. Since then, they have targeted my brain as well as other internal organs with electromagnetic low-frequency waves so that my brain slowly deteriorates and I develop dementia or some other neurological disease. Then they will say I was mentally ill. But there's a big difference between mental illness and mental injury. They have no fear of God and no fear of man. The law means nothing to them and has no meaning for those they slowly torture and kill, because the law will not help those people. The law only works where it can be applied. Plato once said, all laws are meaningless because good people will always keep them, and evil people will always find a way around them. And then he has a quote at the bottom, the truth is stranger than fiction, which I can definitely attest for. Alright guys, so I'm coming up to about 20 minutes. I just wanted to read y'all that. Look up Bryan Tew on Google. Watch that YouTube video I showed and check out this article. A lot of really good concrete information that I think we all need to look into. You know, I don't think this will be to our death, and I do think that, you know, this technology will come out into the public. I think that we can force it out into the public so that this won't get worse, and there will be oversight on these technologies. I really believe that. You know, I don't know Bryan's present beliefs, but when he wrote this article, you know, he sees it as they're going to just do whatever they want, and it will become worse for us. So we just can't let it, you know. And I really have a hope that TIs right now experiencing, you know, this sort of remote neural monitoring, remote neural manipulation, and torture from directed energy weapon systems, you know, we have a chance to bring this to the light and to get people holding the use of it accountable. I really do believe that. And, you know, Bryan's beliefs right now, you know, could be different. But check out his videos on YouTube. You know, he has a lot of great information. He's being tortured horrifically. So also please pray for him. But check out this information. I feel like the information he gives and the research that he's done on, you know, Robert Duncan's information and other information that he's also looked at is essential for us to know. And I know that multitasking really does work for me. And a lot of these, you know, I do read my own active memory. It's kind of, I call it just know thyself. You know, targeted individuals, know thyself. Know what you would think. Know at what time you would think something, and what in the context of your thoughts, and if that would be you, or if that's some kind of you know, thought injection into your visual space, or by synthetic telepathy, which would be your inner voice. Know thyself. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I don't know if I'm going to put this one out today or tomorrow, but the November Video Marathon 2017, to get as much information, testimonies, I think I'm going to, well, my own kind of updates, testimonies, talk about what other TIs are doing, read some articles by other TIs, and go to some websites of some TIs doing a lot of activism. It does continue on, and I'm going to get out some good information this month. Like I said, you know, I might not do a video every day, but I'm going to try and get up to 30. It could be more. Could be more than 30 or a little bit less. I'm shooting for more than 30 for the month of November, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes as the days progress. I'm not even, I mean, I'm just finished with the first week, and I'm doing extra videos, so I don't know. I don't know, guys. This information is important. You know, all TIs, we go through torture and, you know, psychological remote neural manipulation, remote neural monitoring, V2K every day. So, you know, I feel like I might as well, if I'm gonna be isolated and tortured and hurt, trying to get the word out, I might as well. You know, we might as well do video marathons and every idea that we can think of to get this information out, to just make a groundswell. You know, out in the public and in social media, to where you know, within a year the mainstream media will not even see a reason to cover it up anymore, or the people kind of giving the mainstream media their orders won't even see a reason to really cover this stuff up. All right, guys. Well, let's just get the information out there and let's keep going. Stay strong. And I will talk